on a rare night where a Ranger embarrassment of riches ended up not so rich and maybe a little bit embarrassing. Outscored by 6-3 in Dallas, their first regulation loss in a month and a day. Welcome inside our Delta MSG studios, John Giannone and Henrik Lundqvist and Steve Valiquette. Maybe not lost in this, Henrik, on a night where the Rangers really looked for almost two periods like they were pretty much in control of the game.
Yeah, especially that first period. I felt like they played so well. The passing was crisp. They made good reads, when to step up and when to sit back. And then halfway through this game, you start to see them taking maybe some risks they didn't really need to take. And also Dallas, they looked really good. They really got going in that second period. And it felt like they were pushing the pace a little bit more, especially in the second half, and going for it a little bit more than the Rangers. I still had a good feeling going into the third after all we've seen over the last couple of weeks and the confidence we talked about going into the third. But you have to give a lot of credit to Dallas, how they played this game and how they increased the pace and intensity as the game moved on.
See, that's the thing, right? You have to give Dallas credit. This is a cup contending team. This isn't a team that is bottom third. They're upper echelon. They're deep. They've got big forwards. They're fast. Plenty of experience over there. They've been the distance in the playoffs. The thing about playing against Dallas is you got to get up on them. You got to get up on them so they stretch out of their game plan. And the Rangers weren't able to do that. I think Shesterkin comes back to this game and he looks at the video, and Henrik, you know what it's like. When you have 4 on the board, you don't like 2 or 3. For me in this one, if Shesterkin plays at his highest level, you're in a 2-2 game, because I felt like he was getting down a little bit too early on some of the plays that went east to west.
Yeah, it bears remembering, especially the Rangers, who have been so successful and so much character in third periods this year. Rangers had a lead going into the third. Rangers led it 2-0 in the game, Steve, but then in a 13-minute span, late second, early third, it went from 2-0 up to 4-2 down.
And I'd like to look at the first goal against, the Benn goal, where on the first pass, it is a 3-on-1. Shesterkin just gets himself down early, and you can see it on the giveaway here. Dallas is coming fast. They've got numbers, but the first pass, you can't hit the deck there because you give away your positioning, and now you can't get across to help yourself make a save. Very difficult to say anything negative against a goalie on a 3-on-1. But the same thing happens from distance on goal number 2. Same idea, down early, and then the rebound spits across. Full rotation, he does not get here, doesn't get the call on the coach's challenge either. And to my notes right now, the Rangers are 0 for 9 on coach's challenges. We got to get that number confirmed, but it doesn't feel like that's too far off the mark. And then you're looking at a 3-2 score where the Rangers could have had a few on a few chances, but now you're, again, ending up on your backside. I don't think Shesterkin's going to like his game. That's all I'm saying, because he knows where his bar is and he knows what his level impacts the team like.
And we talked about also going into this game how good Dallas is to get in front of the net, get to loose pucks. So a couple of goals that the puck was right there, but the intensity from the Dallas players to get to that loose puck, to get to that rebound, it was there. You could feel it. You could, watching this game, especially that second half, they had that little extra step versus the Rangers.
They get into like a triangle around the net a lot. They're one of the best rebound teams in the league, but they really get into a triangle. They're very predictable for each other, and that's the hard part about playing against this team, because they have that experience. They have that time together.
Yeah, it got scrambly there in the late second into the third, and then Rangers gave up 2 empty net shorthanded goals, and ultimately, despite the goal in the last 15 seconds, lose at 6-3 the final. Let's begin the reaction from Dallas. Dave Maloney working the Rangers dressing room. Here's Mika Zibanejad.
Mika, it's been a while since you've had to come off a loss. Your thoughts after tonight?
Playing against a good team. I think we did some good things, especially in the first. Came out strong again, and second was a little bit back and forth, and then in the third they created some chances and they scored, and yeah, it's tough loss. We'll look at this and see a little bit more in detail.
And it's tough, right after the fact. But did you sense the game turned at any point to Dallas's favor?
I think they get the 3-2 goal, and then obviously the 4-2 goal with the I think it's a challenge or whatever. So I don't know. It's a few of those challenges haven't gone our way now.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it's this one's tough, and I would say hard to analyze just right after. Honestly, it's I think it'll be easier to have a better answer for you guys after you get to watch the game again. And so I'll watch the game again.
And one other point, and you guys have certainly gotten a save when you needed it, but Wedgwood made a big save on Chris at 2-1 early in the third.
Yeah, I think we had those 3 chances in one shift, and he comes up big, and even when we were pressing on the PK, he makes a save with the stick, and I don't know. It's I thought we had some chances. During the time where when the game was kind of leaning back and forth and not really knowing what was going to happen, and he made some good saves. I think Shusty made some good saves as well. They just scored on the other opportunities that they had, and again, it's a tough loss, but we'll move on.
Yeah, and it really was a story of quick strikes for the Dallas Stars, right? Rangers make it 2-0, and then 45 seconds later, Jamie Benn scores. First minute of the third period, Dallas scores to tie the game, and then they score the third and fourth goals, 1:16 apart. So, as Mika said, that sort of was the story of the game.
Well, I think any time a team gives up a goal in the first minute, you always have that instant seed of doubt on the bench. You have that feeling of, did we just let this slip away? Because it's one of those unwritten rules in hockey where you don't get scored on in the first minute of a period or last minute of a period. And yeah, I think that does hurt the overall psyche, and it does take a little bit of wind out of you when you're just sitting there and you're like, oh, come on, seriously, boys? Like, we're going to give one up that early? We weren't ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was kind of waiting for a little more of a push the last 10 minutes when Dallas went up 3-2, 4-2. But again, you have to go back to how good Dallas is as a team. You know, they're playing with a lot of structure and the big bodies. It was hard for the Rangers to really get in front of the net and create big chances. They had it in the first because I thought the Rangers passed the puck so well. It was tape to tape. We talked about the speed in their game because of that, and it was getting away from them a little bit in the second and third period. And again, Dallas made it hard for them.
Yeah, a couple perspective checks here. Rangers have 12 wins this year. So does Dallas now after tonight's game. Rangers played just about 20% of the season. This was only their third regulation loss. Let's hear what Jacob Trouba had to say after the 6-3 defeat.
Did you get a sense, Jake, when it kind of turned other than that sequence in the third where you thought you had it and you thought maybe you had a challenge?
Yeah, that's probably it, I think. I think both the challenges, both of them didn't go our way, which is what it is. Sometimes those things happen. Just kind of try to rally together as much as we can, and just came up a little short in the third period.
Right, and it's been, you haven't had to do it often, but you're coming off a loss, so I guess just get back on the horse.
Yeah, I think we've liked our starts. I think even tonight we liked the way we started. Played 2 pretty good periods. I think we liked the first more than the second, but you're taking a lead into the third period on the road is a pretty good spot to be. And it just third period got away from us. It's not nothing to panic over, I don't think. Just kind of move on and keep playing our game.
Good job, thanks.
Thanks.
It's interesting to hear both Zibanejad and Trouba. They almost sound like they're not quite sure what happened because we've just gotten so used to seeing the Rangers be so successful in third periods. We said before the game, when the Rangers were either tied or behind heading to the third, they were 7-2 this year, which really speaks volumes for how good they've been in thirds. They've obviously held on to win all the games they led, except for tonight.
It's a good point because you lend yourself to believe you always have it in you when you keep performing at that level. And it's like you're trying to predict what's going to happen in the future. Well, the only evidence you have is what has already been done, and the Rangers have done it. So I'm sure there's almost a little element of surprise to them internally where it's like, oh, we didn't pull it out tonight. But I don't know. The challenges, I don't know how much that hurts when it's 2. Because when there's multiple, like the Columbus game, you're starting to wonder if, I don't know, does that get into the player's psyche a little bit? Not really, right? Like, it's not supposed to affect you.
No, I don't think so. But I also think about when he talks about, you know, how do we assess this game? To be a really good team, how you assess your performance and what went right, what went wrong. It's important to make sure you have the right answers. So if you don't know that, yeah, let's watch it. Let's figure it out so we learn from it instead of just stand after a game and make something up. I think it's important. They are a really good team now, and they understand to be even better, how you assess your performance and what went wrong tonight. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of good answers tomorrow and make sure they're even better in the next game.